The Mystara project is proud to present Part 27 of the Black Coast campaign. In this video, the party continue their training and preparations in Lima, with the goal of journeying back to King Thales Castle, to pass on what they have learned of the plot to abduct Princess Sylvia. On the 18th of Windmoon, Lima's warden of the garrisons, Ernst Ziegler, arranges for Lamunda to train with the army swordmaster, and for Ambil and Timon to train with the slingmaster. They each pay 500 GP for the training. Meanwhile, Saudara reads the remaining books she took from the House of Towers. The Book of Runes describes symbols linked to Tor, who is followed by the Antalian-descended people of Lima Khan. The other two books are more for entertainment, being the romance fiction titled The Knight and the Princess, and The Good Wine's Guide. The fortnight required for the weapons training passes, without any notable incident, until the final day, being the 3rd of Air Moon. Whilst enjoying lunch in a tavern, a dwarf approaches Triac. He introduces himself as Eben of Cirist, or Eben of Whitemount in the Black Coast common tongue. Eben tells Triac that he is looking for some non-dwarven companions, to venture south to a swampy area, that is rumoured to be near some wild elves. He says that he needs to go there to speak with the Dark Sage, for she is said to know the location of the Gundiram's mine. Eben explains that he is fascinated by the design and construction of well-made mines and ruined buildings. Triac politely tries to listen to Eben talk about mines and ruined buildings without yawning. Nevertheless, he tells Eben to meet him at Zygrun's supplies first thing tomorrow morning, as they are planning to leave for King Thales Castle and could do with an extra warrior. Lamunda, Timon, and Ambil successfully complete their weapons training, becoming skilled in the normal sword, sling, and sling, respectively. In the evening, the party celebrates Lamunda's and Ambil's success, and thanks King Lima Khan for his hospitality. Early on the 4th of Air Moon, the party get their horses and wagon and leave Lima Khan's castle. They stop in at Zygrun's supplies to sell Ambil's dining room wares. Zygrun appraises them and offers 414 GP for the lot, which is much lower than Timon's estimate of 600 GP. Lamunda again produces the letter from Lix, and uses her charming bargaining style to convince Zygrun to pay them 568 GP for the lot. At that moment, Eben arrives, and is introduced to the group by Triac. Triac offers his riding horse to Eben and suggests they sell the others here, now that they have fine war horses. Zygrun shows off her extensive range of wares to the adventurers, explaining various known uses for each item. The cashed-up characters decide to trade in their standard backpacks for an explorer's version, so they are able to carry twice the weight, but with quadruple the encumbrance of the pack. Lamunda and Saudara are sick of roughing it when they camp, so they each buy a 4-person tent, and load it on their wagon. The characters also buy bedrolls. Ambil buys 2 sets of gloves, heavy ones to protect against poison needles and rope burn, and soft ones to negate contact poisons. They all buy a set of fine clothes for dining with royalty, and other such formal occasions, and long cloaks for dealing with the cold. Ambil buys a disguise kit, comprised of wigs, hair dyes and makeup. Zygrun convinces Triac to buy some garlic, as it can be used to ward off vampires. Both clerics also buy wooden stakes, as Zygrun advises them how to destroy those blood-sucking undead. Timon buys 20 bandages to use in conjunction with her healing skill. Saudara stocks up on metal oil flasks, and buys 10 pounds of salt to preserve the rust monster antennae, and any more creature parts she collects. She also buys a waterproof cased spellbook to carry around, while her original will be on the wagon. All 3 spellcasters buy waterproof scroll cases. The characters also buy wax, not necessarily for making impressions, but for blocking their ears against sound attacks, like a harpy's song. Now that she has a warhorse, Lamunda buys a lance. The characters also trade in their riding horses. Zygrun identifies the magic items that were unfamiliar to Saudara. Unsurprisingly, Lamunda's silver sword is +1, just like Ambil's. Lamunda's potion is of invisibility, and Timon's is of healing. Saudara's wand is of secret door detection, activated by the command word Urko. Fully equipped, the PCs ride out of Lima, and head along the trail toward the port town of Nandua. As they are traveling through Lima's farmlands, they spot a tree blocking the trail. When they get within 10 yards of the trail, Ambil suddenly yells, "Ambush!" The adventurers scan the area, and eventually see people trying to hide off the trail. With the ambushers defeated, the clerics tend to the wounded with healing skill and cure light wound spells. The remainder of the 4-day journey is uneventful. The party reaches the port town of Nandua in the late afternoon of the 7th of Air Moon. Once again they stay at the Hidden Treasure Inn. The next morning, the PCs board a ship called the Ledger's Wayfarer, bound for Carrick City, loading their mounts, draft horses and wagon onto the vessel. With normal winds they progress smoothly south through the waters. During the day, 8 6-foot-long sea snakes are spotted in the waters, but they don't bother the ship. The Ledger's Wayfarer docks at the small town of West Hyven at dusk. The party spends some time ashore at the Golden Soil Inn, before heading back to sleep on the ship. After some extremely light breezes, before normal winds prevailed, and more sea snake sightings, the Ledger's Wayfarer docks at Carrick City on the afternoon of the 10th of Air Moon. The adventurers hastily buy a week's worth of iron rations and make their way out of the city, camping about 3 miles along the Endworld Road. As the adventurers are traveling along the road through a light forested area, they notice some very large rats about 110 yards ahead. The horses start snorting and shying away. The large rats pause, then scurry off. That night, during Eben and Ambel's graveyard shift, the camp is alerted as the horses start to stir and snort. Ambel wakes everyone up, but they don't have enough time to don their armor before large rats attack them. Eben and the clerics complain that their weapons did not seem to damage the rats. Saudara, remembering this same problem in the House of Towers, concludes that they must have also been were-rats. The clerics inspect the wounded and conclude that rat-bite saliva has not entered anyone's bloodstream enough to cause lycanthropy. Apart from a 5-headed monster the party manages to avoid the next day, the remaining journey to King Thales Castle is uneventful. The party spots the castle around noon, on the 17th of Air Moon. This concludes part 27 of the Black Coast campaign. In the next part, the party will report what they have learnt of the identity behind Princess Sylvia's abduction, to her father, King Thales of Clearwater.